What's up, you guys? I'm Drew. I'm the marketing director here at Brock, and I just wanted to take a minute today to tell you a little bit about what I do here and what I can hopefully impart on you to help you with your business. Just a little bit of background on me. I've been with Brock a little over 5 years. Have not always done marketing. Some of you that have followed us for a little while using GoGuru, like our CRM, probably have either met with me for a demo, support. Some of you maybe even still come to me with questions about that. But these days I mainly help manage our both our direct-to-consumer and our B2B marketing for Brock. And for you guys, I wanted to impart a little bit about what we focus on when it comes to direct consumer marketing. So our brick and mortar agency, how do I feed all these agents that we have in our office? Thankfully these days it's not just done on my own. I've got a fantastic team that helps me out. But I'm going to show you that you don't necessarily need all the bells and whistles that I have access to. I'm going to try to make it super simple, and I'm going to start. This is probably going to be a multi-part series. I'm going to start today giving you a broad overview on answering just a few of the basic questions that usually, if you're not a Brock partner, most of the time, once you've talked with one of our recruiting guys, they usually send you to me, because the number one question we get asked, what do I do for my marketing? How do you guys produce leads? So if you look at Brock as a whole, there are multiple spokes. If Brock is the wheel hub, then there's multiple spokes that feed the overall momentum of that machine, if you will. So if Brock is here, like I mentioned, right here in the middle, what is it that's supporting it? So the number one thing, usually what people mean when they ask me, like, how is Brock doing their marketing? They're alluding to digital advertising, so usually through Facebook. We do a lot of Facebook ads. That is definitely where we see a large majority of our volume, but that's not necessarily the end-all be-all of everything as far as like feeding these agents. So we'll start at the top here, and we'll put FB ads. It's great, you definitely want to do some sort of digital advertising, because like I said, you can usually get a lot of volume for a lower cost. And if you're just starting out, more beginner level agent or agency, it's a great way to scale quickly if you can manage the grind, because our agents, they are fortunate enough to have a team of people that do all their outbound. But if that's you may be doing that all on your own. You're doing you're the marketer, you're the person that sets up all of the nurturing sequences, and then you're the person that gets the people on the phone, and then you're also people that close the business. But you don't have to deal with all the overhead either. So Facebook ads, great place to start. And I won't go into great detail about all of these. I really just want to make this an overall overview. So next we have here is sometimes I can't talk and write at the same time.
That's fine.
Direct mail. So direct mail, we still do a decent amount of traditional printed mail. We actually have an in-house shop now that we do our own mailing for that. So that's cut costs long-term for us when it comes to that. Something we do offer to our partners, something we can do for you potentially if you want to do some direct mail. A lot of times we can fulfill that for you. So that's our second spoke. Our third one here is going to be webinars. So webinars are kind of like an overall, because you can do Facebook ads for webinars, and then you can do Google ads. There's a lot of different kind of digital advertising you can do with that, but ours are mainly done with Facebook, and then you can do them for the traditional Turn to 65. You can do them for financial advising. We've kind of played around with multiple of them, but The good thing about webinars is usually your presentation that you make, whether it's for T65, something wealth advising or otherwise, is that seminars can play right into that as well. And that's another large, as far as like intent, we have really high show up rate at our seminars, and a lot of that goes into one of the next thing I'm going to talk about is, you could say local branding, you could say more specifically like billboards, you could say TV. I'm actually going to break it up into those two individual things. So we're going to say billboards here. Billboard, and then let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, this is the last one. Local, specifically local TV. So these two are somewhat more branding, a little bit passive as far as your lead gen goes. It's harder to track. You can put tracking numbers on billboards, on television commercials, but as far as, you know, seeing someone down the road, maybe, you know, they're a year out and then they see your commercial several times, maybe that's what causes them to convert, you know, as a sale later on down the road. It's hard to say. It's harder to put a value on branding, but I do think that it's necessary for a long-standing business that you want to be in this, you know, to grow for the long term. So local TV billboards can definitely feed things like seminars where you're doing local events, because I can tell you that whenever we do a Tupelo seminar, very much easier to fill that room than it is to, say, go 2 hours away to somewhere in North Alabama, we'll say. We're in Tupelo, Mississippi, so even just 2 hours to the north or northeast, people don't know who we are, right? We have a good amount of diversification in our book as far as like states where business is written, but even still, we don't have the brand presence that we've gained in Tupelo through local TV ads, through local billboards, than like in those other areas. So it's harder to get people. A lot of times your lead costs will go up a little bit higher than it normally would for an external market, we'll say, something that's not in your backyard, like your 20, 30, even up to maybe 75 to 100 mile radius of where your business, if you have a brick and mortar presence. So those definitely make a big difference long term. But like I said, it's hard to measure actual lead generation efficiency when it comes to that. It's more of a branding play, and it will fuel your other local market efforts that are more specifically like seminars that are driving in business a lot sooner than, you know, 5 to 10 years down the road. So Facebook ads, direct mail, webinar, seminar, billboard, local TV, those are the main 6 spokes of Brock's marketing mix. Now, there's certainly other very niche lanes that we test out and dive into. These are just the major ones that I'm going to cover that I won't say it's extremely easy to replicate, but very doable for any business to replicate. We're not anything special. We just work hard and we make sure that, you know, things are done to the best of our ability. So everybody, I believe, has that ability, and if you follow what we're going to cover in the next couple of weeks, you can do the same thing. So make sure to subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Like the video, turn on notifications so that you'll know when the next part comes out, and look forward to talking to you then.